Hello students, this is Ujjwala Bhandiwad, lecturer from KLS Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belagavi. In the last class, we have completed chapter number 9, that is constructor and destructor. In today's class, we are going to begin with our new chapter, that is inheritance. Inheritance is another important aspect of object-oriented programming. Okay, our C++ language supports the inheritance concept. Okay, so we are going to learn what is inheritance, how to implement inheritance, what are its advantages, etc. So to begin with, let us define what is inheritance. Inheritance is the capability of one class to inherit the properties from another class. Okay, see, just let me take one general example. Generally, a child gets the qualities or characters from its parents. Okay, similarly, here in C++, one class can get the properties from another class. This is possible with the concept that is called as inheritance. Okay. Here two important definitions you must remember. One is base class, another one is derived class. Base class means what? It is a class whose properties are inherited by another class. Okay, it is also known as superclass. Okay, then comes a derived class. It is defined as the class that inherits the properties from a base class. It is also known as subclass. See, in our general example, parents are considered as a base class, and the child which inherits the properties from its parents, okay, the child is considered as a subclass. So I hope you have clarified with the definition of inheritance. Okay, once again I just repeat, inheritance means it is a capability, means it's a capacity of the one class to acquire the properties of another class. Okay, to acquire means what? To get the properties of another class. The inheritance, why we have to learn this inheritance chapter? Okay, it has few advantages. First advantage is reusing existing code is possible. Reusing means we have written some programming code. Code means programming code. Okay. Again we want to use that to perform some another task. Then we need not have to write the same program once again. We can reuse it. That is possible if we are using inheritance. Second is faster development time. We can write the program at very faster rate. Okay. It is also easy to maintain. Okay. Easy to extend. Extend means we have written the program. We want to add few things into it. That is possible. Okay. In this inheritance. Also memory utilization means what? The computer memory is properly utilized to store the programs. Okay, means computer memory will not be wasted. So these are the few advantages of inheritance. Okay, so now let us learn how to define a inheritance. Okay, so now you must remember that inheritance means two things you have to remember. One will be the base class, second will be the subclass. Base class means it's the original class which has the qualities, and the subclass means it is a class which is going to get the properties from a base class. So how to do this? For that purpose we must remember the syntax. Okay, the syntax is important from exam point of view. Okay, see here, you can see it begins with the word class followed by derived class name, then comes colon. You can see here, after that there is a visibility mode, then comes base class name, then open the brace. After that you can write the members of the derived class, close the brace ending with semicolon. See here students, subclass is again class only. So you should remember that whatever the concept we are applying to the class, whatever the syntax we have to remember, same thing is applicable for the subclass also. Okay, now here class means it is a keyword, derived class name means it is name of the derived class. Visibility mode means, visibility mode means what? Okay, the visibility mode, okay, specifies whether features of the base class are privately derived, publicly derived or protected derived. Okay, we know that three access specifiers are there: public, private and protected. So how it is the subclass is derived, whether privately, publicly or protectedly? So that is specified by the visibility mode. Okay, so you have to remember this syntax. Here very important thing is the colon. Always remember, between derived class name and the base class name there is a colon, which tells us that we are using inheritance concept. Okay, now to show you this, we must understand the inheritance concept with the help of one programming example. Okay, just I have told you in theory as well as I have told you with the help of now with the help of one programming example. So let us understand the inheritance with the help of program. See here, first we write the header files iostream.h, conio.h. Now I have one class. What is the name of the class? Is base. Then I have a private access specifiers, that is roll number and name. See here, roll number is of the type integer, name should be of the type character. So roll number and the name. These are the private access specifiers I have declared. These are the variables which will store some value. Then in the public section, I have taken one important member function. What is that? It is a read. Read member function is there. What I am reading in it? Enter the roll number and the name. Okay. Then see in roll number and name means I am accepting from the user roll number and the name. Okay. Then close the brace. After the brace is over, then you can see void display. There is one more member function called as display, where I am displaying roll number as well as the name of the student. See here. Then here the base class ends. Okay. So you can see here students, the base class ends here. Now below that base class, below the base class, I have to create my derived class. To create the derived class or the new subclass, what I have to do? See, I have to follow the syntax. As just now I have taught you the syntax, it begins with the word class. You can see it begins with the word class. You can see here the begins with word class. Then derive. Derive means what? Derive is the name of the subclass. Means I am creating one new class. The name of the new class is derive. Then comes visibility mode. It is public. Public means I am deriving the base class in a public access specifier mode. Then the new, you can say the base class name. What is the base class name is? In our example it is base only. So I hope you understood how we have to write the syntax of the derived class. Okay. Now private, see here, you can see here m1, m2 and t, all these are the variables, okay, of the class derive. Okay, I hope you have understood. m1, m2, t are the variables which belongs to the class derive. They are not present in the base class. These are the qualities or variables of the class derive. Then public, in the public section I have written here, you can see read1. Name of the function is read1. What is this read1? Read1 is the function where I am entering, okay, you can see, enter the first and second marks of the students. So m1 and m2 are the marks of the students which I am accepting it from the user. And now t is equal to m1 plus m2 means I am, after accepting the m1 and m2 value, I am calculating the total marks. That is, t is indicates the total marks. Okay, so this read1 function is there. It is, this function belongs to the class derive. Okay, it is not the function of the base class, it is the function of the derived class. Now comes second function, display1. You can see display1 is again a function which belongs to the class derive. Okay. In the display function, display1 function, we are displaying first marks, that is m1, m2 and total marks also we are displaying. And you can see we are closing the class. Which class we are closing? We are closing the class of derive. You might have observed here I have created the new subclass, that is derive, and this I have closed here. See, here I have closed. So I have created the new subclass now. Now next comes is void main. Okay, as you know that in the void main we will create the object of the class. So I have created object. Name of the object is OB. Of the class derive. Okay, then CLR SCR is a function to clear the screen. Okay, next is ob.read. You can see here. Now ob.read means I have created object of the derived class, but I am accessing the function of the base class. Okay, this is the advantage of inheritance. In the inheritance, you might have observed in the base class I have created two functions, read and display. Okay, that I am accessing with the help of object of the derived class, ob.read. Then ob.read1. Read1 is the function of derived class, that is subclass. Okay. Similarly, ob.display, ob.display1. Okay. I hope there is no confusion for you people. Two functions I have created in the base class, two functions I have created in the derived class. But with the help of inheritance, I can access all the functions of a base class as well as the subclass or a derived class. Okay. So students, in this way, we can just have sorry students, in this way you can create an inheritance with the help of example. So you have to remember that example for 5 marks. If they ask explain the inheritance with an example, then you have to explain that with the help of example, means for 5 marks you have to remember it. Okay. Now let us learn the level of inheritance. Levels means what? The types of inheritance. Okay. Inheritance is basically classified into 5 different categories. First one is single level inheritance. Just now you have learned single level inheritance, multi level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. So students, there are 5 different categories of inheritance. So you have to remember what is inheritance, types of inheritance, and the programming example. Okay, so let us recall what we have learnt in today's class with few questions. Okay, first question is what is inheritance? Inheritance means we can define it as it is a capability of one class to inherit properties from another class. Okay, base class means what? It is a class whose properties are inherited by another class. What is other name of the base class is? It is also known as superclass. Similarly, derived class means it is a class that inherits properties from a base class. Okay, it is also known as subclass. Now, how to implement the inheritance? Question is, how to implement inheritance means how practically you inherit. That you have to show is, right, you have to write that entire example. C++ program you have to write. In that way we can able to implement the inheritance. Okay, then mention any 2 advantages of inheritance. Just now we have written reusing existing code is possible, the memory utilization is better. Okay, these are few you can say advantages of inheritance. So students, in the next class we will be learning the types of inheritance with example. Okay, so again we will be continuing in the next class. Thank you students.